Hey everybody, it's Dina Rico and the Creativity Cave, and guess what? Today is Friday! Yay! And you know what that means? It's time for a Friday Quickie. I'm so thrilled to be stamping with you again. It's been forever. I kind of took part of the summer off. It might have been that I was a little busy. I really just can't even tell you how excited I am to be back. So yay! And today I have such a great project for you to share. It's shaker cards. Yay! And actually, this is funny. So I had thought about doing shaker cards for a while now. In fact, I have a list of ideas for Friday Quickies, and that's been on it for a while. Of course, I was talking to a friend of mine this week about shaker cards. She's sort of a shaker card aficionado. And she was talking about what kinds of things you could put in shaker cards. And she likes sequins, but of course, after a certain amount of time, there's all the sequins that we have and you're kind of done. So one of the things I wanted to do was come up with creative things to put in shaker cards, as well as make them up, change them up a little bit, right? So yay, let me show you what I came up with. So I have to show you this. This is my prototype, but we're going to make it better. And I really, really love it. There's cute little words in here. There are glitter stars. And then, of course, the shaker itself is a star. So let me show you how I did this, except we're going to totally improve upon it because, like I said, this is sort of my prototype. And here again, I posted a video yesterday. Actually, I don't know if it posted yesterday because I've been having some YouTube challenges. YouTube and I have not been best friends lately. In fact, we're kind of mortal enemies at this moment. to coin a phrase from my son, he's my mortal enemy. YouTube is my mortal enemy right now. I think I have it figured out today, finally. But long story short, let's hope that we get along enough for this video to post today. Anyway, what was I even saying? I can't even remember. So I was showing people in this other video about how sometimes things don't come together immediately into the perfect creation that you see online. So I thought it's important to see that I don't just like conjure up these cards in their perfect original form. So with that being said, let me show you how I did this. It's really pretty easy, and I know I say that all the time, and I know you never believe me, but it is. Let me show you how I did it. First of all, I'm looking for the stamp set that I used, just because I wanted you to see. Here we go. So I pulled out thoughtful banners. So I was talking about my friend, what to put in shaker cards. Here, this is in the view of the camera. That's bad because I want you to think that my workspace is clean, but it's not. Okay. Thoughtful banners. So this has all these super fun words in it. Sweet, friend, blessed, amazing, inspiring, congrats. Well, I mean, there's just a ton of words in here. So I picked out all the words that would like describe somebody. So fun, sweet, friend. Well, I don't think I actually used friend. Blessed, amazing, inspiring, blah, blah, blah. I picked out all these words. Of course, as I was doing this, I was thinking, who would I give this card to? My daughter's birthday is coming up, and this is so perfect for her. Though I am not sure that crazy and or wild is a word I would use to describe my daughter. That's maybe more for me, but ultimately I think this will work out just fine. Okay, so what I did is I stamped these. This is one of those leftover pieces I have from trimming cardstock, and I just stamped the words on here. It's really easy to do. You get your butt stuck out real good and everything will line up perfectly. You can see I have mine not exactly on there right, but it doesn't matter because what we're going to do is just trim these really tight to the word because we don't want them too big. And then all of these are going to go inside of our little shaker. Now, before I do that, let me show you something else. Okay, so for the version of this card, I thought instead of gray, I'm going to go with black. I really wanted things to pop, and I also really wanted the glimmer to show up. But then, and then this will be my card. But then I thought to myself, okay, I have this huge piece of glimmer paper, and I believe, truly, that it is some sort of mortal sin or sacrilege to use such a giant piece of glimmer paper. Of course, I am kidding, mostly. So what I'm going to do is just take and trim this out. I'm going to leave a 1/2 inch border around. And so basically what I'm doing is just cutting out the center. So I'm making a glimmer paper frame, and then I can use that piece that I'm going to cut out, and it doesn't have to be perfect at all. Okay, ooh, it even came out perfect. So this piece we can use for something else. There, we're just using this. Or now we're just using this. Now the other thing I do want to make sure before I start getting crazy and adhering is that it fits perfectly under here, and it does not. So I'm just going to cut away a little of this just to ensure that nothing sticks through, because it'll look a little goofy otherwise. And now let me center this up. Now we're good. Okay, so we want to make sure that the window is clear. Now, speaking of windows, we need to adhere a window sheet. So actually, I'm going to run back here and cut I forgot to cut it. I'm just taking one of our window sheets, and I trimmed it to 3.5 inches because you can see that will cover up my window perfectly. So I will take this, flip it over. I will use Fast Fuse to adhere this. Now it doesn't have to be adhered like in every single nook and cranny. That's okay. You just want it to stick well to your card and cover up make sure all the opening areas will be covered up. So all the points of my star are covered. Okay, so my window sheet is adhered. Then I'm going to use, and this is why I truly believe that shaker cards are feasible for somebody like me who's lazy, because we have these new adhesive foam strips designed perfectly for shaker card making. So if you take one of these strips off, place it on your card, you want to leave just a little bit of a space between the edge of your shaker and where you're placing the foam, so that the foam doesn't show through, especially on this type of a card where it's black cardstock underneath. We don't want to see that white foam. So we'll just leave, I wouldn't even say it's 1/8 of an inch, because I bet these are probably 1/8 of an inch wide. So maybe it's more like a 1/16 of an inch. And the great wonderful thing about these is they're really flexible. You can see I'm just bending this as I go around, so I don't have to cut a bunch of fancy measurements out. I just bend it and stick it. Have you ever seen, I don't know if you know this about me, but I love movie quotes. The movie Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams, of course, one of the great movies he did. He's trying to get a job, and this guy is telling him that he's going to box movies and ship them. First you box them, then you ship them. And so, being the smart aleck that Robin Williams is, he's like, first you box them, and then he's asking the guy like, and then what do? You ship them. I don't know. I just thought of that as I'm doing this. Crazy me. I'm sorry. Okay, so I have taken and put down all of my foam tape, so that's perfect. Now this little extra piece that I have left over, I'm going to cut into 4 pieces that I have left, and I'll put these in the corners just so that my cardstock is kind of evenly stuck onto my card. Okay, so this is my shaker. Now I'm going to come back to my card for just a second here. So I have a 1/2 sheet of black cardstock, and I've got, of course, my glimmer paper. I'm going to adhere my glimmer paper to my card, and I'm adhering it well. In fact, my fingers are kind of totally stuck to it. And I'm going to center this on, except this is not right. Ah! I hate when this happens. Something tells me this is not a 1/4 sheet. Maybe it is. Maybe this piece is wrong. Hold on, let me measure it. Sorry. It was just a little too big, so I'm trimming a touch off of it. I hope I'm doing this right. Were you yelling at the camera that I had it upside down there for a second? I would have. Okay, so there's my glimmer paper. I've got just a little border of black. And then this is going to fit on here. Now, we're not sticking it down yet. We got to fill it up first. So, to do that, we can do one of 2 things. I like this version. you take the star, this is the one I cut out of my gray piece, and I'm going to place it on here and make sure it's lined up, and it is. This is sort of our placeholder, and you can take a pen and just sort of mark where things go, and this is all going to make complete sense here in a second. Now this is not perfect, it's just to give me an idea of where to place things. I'm blowing off some of this glitter. So now I have my little words, and I'm just going to continue. I stopped cutting these because I wanted to slice them off in here for you to see that this is the easiest way to get them in your card, is to just trim them, make sure they end up face up. I had two wilds because the first one didn't stamp very well. And then we're going to add some stars. Now the stars are from our confetti star punch. And what I'm going to do, I also personally believe this to be kind of brilliant. I'm going to just punch by setting this right on top of where I want it. See, my whole plan was to do this so that it would all go right in here. It's because the camera's in the way, I'm telling you. I'm going to move it over so I can really get my... This is a ringing endorsement for this. Woo! Sorry, my camera got bunched. I did not have this much trouble punching it in the first place. I just need to put that disclaimer out. Okay, so I have my little lines to help me figure out where these should be. And then I'm going to place my shaker right over the top. And of course, the piece of glimmer paper stuck to it, because that is just how things happen. Do you guys ever feel that way when you're stamping? Oh, Lord. Okay. So I'm going to center this over the top, and I'm looking... I got to trim this just a little bit. What is wrong with my dimensions today? Usually I'm not that bad. Trimming a little bit off so that there's a nice even border, top to bottom, side to side. And then I will place this on here and press. There's all these glimmer speckles. But then look at, and what I really wanted were that these words would be really bright and show up nicely. Now, the other thing I did was I stamped "You Are," and I'm going to take my classic label punch and just punch this out kind of like this. And then I'm going to trim some of it off because I don't need it to be that big. But ooh, oh, I just thought of something. Don't you like when I do this? Okay, I changed my mind because that's what I do. I'm going to take some gold sequins trim, and I've got my little "You Are," and I'm going to staple this to my card. Okay. So now, because I've already put this on here, this makes this just a teensy bit awkward if you can't tell, because I'm totally turning it looking for a way to make this work. Now, when you go to do this, you go ahead and do this before you attach your card. But I think I got it. So "You Are," and then all of these fun words are in the inside. For the inside, I can stamp all those words going down the side so you can see them. So I'll just start with the couple that I have here so you get the idea. And then I'll fill in the others because I think this is really fun. So of course that will go on the inside of my card. So make sure you check out my blog. I'll have all the details for this card. I also have a couple others to share with you. These are ones I'll be, actually I have a post going up for my VIPs where I make these two cards. So look at this cool shaker card and this cool shaker card. There's some fun stuff in there. I'm going to show you how to make these. So these are really fun. This will be on my VIP rewards page. If you're not on my VIP page, you better check it out because it's awesome. For people who order through me, you become a VIP. It's as easy as that. So anyway, all the details are on my blog. Check it out. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye-bye.